Greetings from YouTubeville. Once again, Danny Savage. Today we'll be talking about the state of the Dallas Cowboys running back room, and then we're going to be talking about the Ohio State future draft picks from 2025. Now, the Ohio State part's going to be a little long, but bear with me. They might break the record for players drafted in this coming April's draft in 2025. So we're going to talk about, what's this? Wait, what's this? What's this? GWO. It's the Guru World Order. Better buy them while you can, because when they're gone, they're gone. All right. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, Zeke. Let's be completely honest. Zeke was brought back for one reason, and that was to sell jerseys. Anyone who thinks differently, I just don't know. I mean, I truly think sometimes our fan base deserves Jerry Jones. Last week, we were talking about signing Zay Jones. Every single content creator out there ran out and did a post. Not me. Not a few other guys didn't. It's just clickbait. Dallas does clickbait of the week. And then Zay Jones was the next coming of Randy Moss. No. I don't know if you've ever noticed. You ever notice Dallas is the only team that changes coaches the week of the Super Bowl? So even though we're not in the Super Bowl, everybody's talking about us during the week of the Super Bowl. It's a brand with Jerry. That's it. He doesn't care about winning. He's worth $13 billion. Do you think he loses sleep at night when he goes to bed? No, it's us fans. I stopped caring at 94 when he fired Jimmy. I know I look 21, but I'm not. I'm really, really old. I'm joking. All right. Listen. If we would have drafted speedsters, I got no problem with Zeke being a running back, goal line back. But yet Zeke's been anointed the first running back. Royce Freeman, camp body. Let's be honest. He's a camp body. Then we got Alone. We don't know if he's a fullback. We don't know if he's a tight end. Hunter Lupke. When we got him as an undrafted free agent, every single person out there thought he was the next Mike Allstott. Not even close. Not even close. But, did they give him a giant chance? This year, I think, with Tyler Guyton at left tackle, I think you're going to see more of a tight end on his side helping him. So that's going to take Hunter Lupke off the field. And Dallas opens up the season with Cleveland Browns. So now, Myles Garrett is licking his chops now. So they better put a tight end over Guyton. Now, I hope, let me just see if that's wrong. My dog wants to get on the screen. But you was an attention getter. But I think with Tyler Guyton at left tackle, you're going to need to put a tight end on his side. I hope politics don't play a reason, because Brevin Spanford is a much, much better blocker than Luke Schoolmaker. But Dallas has a second-round draft pick invested in Luke Schoolmaker. So I'm afraid he might see the field over Brevin Spanford, even though Ford is bigger, stronger, and has better hands. Deuce Vaughn. What do we do with him? Last year when we drafted him, let's be honest, it's all about the feel-good story. His father's a scout for the Dallas Cowboys, who got banned from the NCAA for doing recruiting violations. I don't know, bro. Dallas' scouting department makes me think. especially whoever in Dallas drafts LSU players. They should be fired. Whatever scouts in charge of LSU should be fired. But Deuce, Deuce is 5'5", maybe 200. Do you really expect him to pass block? No, he's going to get run over. That was one of the reasons they brought Zeke back. So what do you do with this guy? Don't get me wrong. In 2023, I liked Deuce Vaughn, but I think we could have gotten him as an undrafted free agent. There was better running backs still on the board. Tank Bigsby was on the board. Charles McIntosh was on the board from Alabama. I just think we could have got Deuce. I don't think Deuce was getting drafted. We could have got him as an undrafted free agent. That's just my 2 cents on him. Malik Davis. Is he ever going to stop being hurt? I mean, if you're all these young running backs on Dallas, I don't know how you don't see this as the golden goose opportunity to take your chance, because there's no clear-cut running back on this team. And this is a scary thought. For all our running backs that are on the team this year, I want you to go out and tally up all the yards they ran in the last year's season, 2023. And it's very scary. We have top 5 worst running back rooms in the NFL. We have the Giants are pretty much up there, but our running back room is brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Snoop Connor. I guess that's Snoop Dogg's 55th cousin, I guess. I don't know. Camp Body. I don't see... I just don't see any of these dudes going out there and blowing out for 1,500 yards. I just don't see it. And what blows my mind the most is trying to get that looking good. What blows my mind the most is we didn't go any running backs during the draft. But then we don't even go any running backs for undrafted free agency. We picked up a part-time running back in Nathan Pete, who was at Stanford for a little bit. Then he transferred to Missouri. I think he has 400 yards to his credit. But, both of his parents were like Olympians or something like that. So I guess Jerry's going to turn him into the next Bullet Bob Hayes. That's what they do. There's a wrestler out there, collegiate wrestler, WWE, just let go of. Big dude. I mean, he's not big towards NFL standards. He's like 6'1", 270. I'm surprised you don't see Dallas bring him in and give him a shot. That's somewhere. Just publicity. It's just very frustrating going into this season, especially with a very, very young offensive line. And you're going to see, I trust Zeke back there, pass blocking. But I don't really trust any of these other guys pass blocking. Deuce would get that killed. Let's be honest. He looked good in preseason, but preseason and regular season is 2 different things. So that's that. All right. Now we're going to talk. Now we're going to get fun. We're going to talk about fun. We're going to talk about Ohio State possible draft picks for 2025. I also believe Ohio State has a very good chance at winning the national championship this year. Are they my favorite team? No, I don't have a favorite team. My favorite team is the one that puts money in my pocket every Saturday. That's my favorite team. But speaking on that a little bit, Ohio State loves to run up the score. Ohio State got 90 kids on their team, and probably 80 of them are all 5-star recruits. So when your fourth stringers are 5-star recruits, no matter who they put in, they're going to look to score. And the fact that now the quarterbacks get all the plays in their helmets, they're going to be running a lot of plays, a lot of plays. Ryan Day's notorious for running up the score. But that also, it shows you your rankings and the 12 teams that are going to make it. You know, if you're blowing everybody out by 70 points versus if you're barely squeaking by 10-9. So that's that. They got an Ole Miss running back that transferred in, Quishon Judkins. He's a monster. He's probably, I see a two-headed run monster between him and Trevon Henderson. He was the starter until Judkins transferred over in from Ole Miss. So he's a beast. He's going to come out in the draft and show his Henderson, unless one of them has an injury. So that's that. Josh Simmons, left tackle. The kid has size and he has length for days. He does have another year of eligibility left. So he's 50-50 on if he's coming back or not. Ohio State has a sick defense. So if their defense all leaves this year, I can just see a mass exodus of people leaving. Will Howard, their quarterback who transferred in. This team is going to go as far as he takes them. Last year, their quarterback play was horrendous. And the only person that could not make him look horrendous was Maserati Marvin Harrison. He was the only dude that can make them look decent last year because their quarterback play was brutal. If they would have had, and their O-line was a little bit young last year, I'll give it that. But their quarterback play was horrible. He was the only one that could do it. Lathan Ramson Safety. Ohio State defense can probably have 8 guys that get drafted this year, 9 guys that get drafted this year. That's how good they are. Ty Hamilton, defensive tackle. So it's very early, very, very, very early. There's mocks out there, him going in round 1. There's mocks of him going late. It's all going to depend on the season that they have. Denzel Burke, cornerback. When you got defensive ends like Ohio State does, it's very easy to play cornerback on Ohio State because Ohio State has two sick defensive ends this year. Then we got Emguka. He made a business decision last year. He's a wide receiver. He messed his ankle up, but he sat on the sidelines thinking that he was going to miss the entire season and still get drafted in the first round. Because other Ohio State wide receivers have done that, made business decisions. But then he saw all the wide receiver talent that came out, and he was probably looking a late day 2 pick this past draft. So he's going to come back, be featured in the offense, and he'll be a number 1 pick. He'll be a first rounder, probably a late first rounder, but he'll be a first rounder. It all depends how he tests. If he blows the 40 away, he will go much, much higher, but he's a first rounder for next year. Now we're going to get into Ohio State's defensive ends. We got Jack Sawyer, tough, blue-collar, lunch pail type of player. He comes to work every single day. He's strong versus the run, good versus the pass, and he's solid. Now I'm going to butcher this last name because these island guys, but they're built differently. I just can't pronounce their names. JT Tumoloau, defensive end. For everybody who loved Olu Fashanu from Penn State, All you have to do is look at the last 2 years Penn State versus Ohio State. And JT Tumoloau destroyed Olu Fashanu with his midget 8-inch hands. Who is gonna get a head coach or a GM fired? Granted, he's young. He's only 20, Olu. But if he thinks he's gonna, I think the Jets took him. Good luck, Aaron Rodgers. If you think he's only 20, and you think you're gonna step into the NFL with your midget 8-inch hands and block grown men, you got another thing coming. So this Ohio State kid, JT Tumoloau, destroyed him 2 years in a row. Destroyed him. Then we have another one, Tyreek Williams, defensive tackle. Ohio State is just loaded on defense this year. They're going to be rotating people in left and right. And we're going to end it with a guy who could have came out last year, but he didn't. Donovan Jackson. He's a guard for Ohio State. Me personally, I think Ohio State's offensive line kind of underperformed last year just because they had a big turnover. They lost both their tackles the year before and stuff like that. But so he could have came out, but he stayed. Now we're going to throw a little handicapping in there with Ohio State. I'm going to make this short and quick and sweet like me. Now, Ryan Day loves to run up the score on people. He loves it. If he could put 70 on you, he'll put 70 on you. And like I was saying earlier, when your fourth string is all 5-star recruits, they're higher star recruits than the team's starters they're playing. So you could put their second string in, their third string in, their fourth string in, and they're all 5-star recruits. And they're gonna look to score. They don't care if it's a minute left in the game. They're gonna look to score because you got to give these kids their touches too. They're not busting their ass every single day in practice for nothing. They are a great team to handicap in the fall. So that's it. Told you yesterday I had a surprise for you. The GWO, Guru World Order. Because when you're rocking with the GWO, it's for life. Talk to you tomorrow.